Hello lovely people out there, this is your Star Guide Nikita and welcome back to Nikki's Star Guide YouTube channel. As always, if you have visited the channel for the first time, if you are watching my video for the first time ever, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon and do not forget to share your views in the comment section below. And in today's video, I had some other different video ideas. I have some series to continue on this channel, but today is Saturday, so something special for our dearest Saturn must have been uploaded on the channel, and that is why I'm going to upload this video. This is a very impromptu video, straight heart-to-heart conversation between you all and me, and there is going to be no editing, no additional graphics or anything else, but I wanted to share my honest experience and observations regarding the Dhaiyya of Saturn, especially the ASHTAM Shani Transit. As per my own experience, as I'm a Gemini moon and I'm going through the ASHTAM Shani Transit, the Dhaiyya of Saturn, since January 2020. Now I have been halfway through it, and I think one more year, 1.5 more year is yet to go, and that is why I wanted to share my real experience and my observations and guidelines with you all. So without any further ado, let's get started. And if you want to take a professional consultation from me regarding your horoscope, regarding any aspect of your life, then please drop an email to nikkistarguide@gmail.com and you will find all the details in the description section. So the Ashtama Shani Transit, also known as the Dhaiyya of Saturn, which is a period of 2.5 years, and there are two types of Dhaiyyas. One, when Saturn transits fourth, that is the fourth house from your moon, that is known as the Kantak Shani Transit, and the second one is the most fearful one, that is the 8th house transit of Saturn, also known as the Ashtama Shani, from your moon and not your ascendant. Okay, so for all the Gemini moon, just like me, my brothers and sisters, we all are going through the Ashtama Shani Transit of Saturn. Okay, and to be honest, it is a quite intense time period, and I will not sugarcoat it. I will be just honest, nor am I trying to spread fear amongst you all. Okay, I'm just sharing my honest observations and my honest experiences as I'm going through it. I'm halfway through it, and I know many of you must have been through it by now, and many of you are about to go through it in upcoming years. So what can we expect during the 2.5 year time period of the Ashtama Shani Transit of Saturn, and what exactly happens and how we can deal with it? So let's get started. So as we all know, Saturn is the slowest moving planet, whereas the moon is the fastest moving planet, right? And moon represents our mind, whereas Saturn represents our duties, responsibilities, fear, anxiety, nervousness. If we don't do our karma right, that night you will observe that you are unable to fall asleep easily. If you are overthinking, or if you are being anxious, then a certain limit, you notice that you are unable to fall asleep that night, right? So fear resides in our mind. Fear paralyzes our mind, and that is what happens when Saturn transits 8th from our moon sign. As Saturn has got the karakatva of the 8th house, so when a planet that holds a karakatva of a certain house transits through that house, it kind of tries to own that house, the significance of that house. So whatever sign is falling in the 8th house from your moon, you will understand, you will notice, or you must know that during this during this Dhaiyya period, or the Ashtama Shani Transit of Saturn, you will be fearful about certain aspects of your life which are represented by the sign that is present in the 8th house from your moon. So now for me, for Gemini people, Gemini moon sign people, the Capricorn sign falls in the 8th house. So even when it's the own sign of Saturn, but still Capricorn sign also represents fear, right? Capricorn sign also represents the fear for status, the fear for authority, the fear of maintaining our reputation in the world out there. And that is why when Saturn transit is transiting through the sign of Capricorn in the 8th house for all Gemini people at present, it is literally teaching me some of the hardest lessons about my career, about my familial life, about how do I look at the all things related to the sign of Capricorn, okay, and mainly look at your moon sign. So for me, I have Gemini moon. So all things that are represented by the sign of Gemini, you will become anxious about them because Saturn is impacting your moon because of its Ashtama Shani transit, right? So that's how also you can judge this transit. But what exactly happens in a generic manner? Saturn has got the Karakatva of the 8th house, and now Saturn is coming to the 8th house. So what happens is you notice that slow and steadily you start feeling anxious about certain aspects of your life. Especially you have to look at the dasha and antardasha that you are currently undergoing. So suppose you are having any planet placed 8th from your moon. So now what will happen? Saturn will transit over that planet during this time. And on top of it, if you are running the dasha of that planet, then wow, I wish you all the very best, because that's going to be one of the very challenging time period. So now again, it depends on if that planet is friendly to Saturn, or that planet again is, uncomfortably placed in the 8th house from your moon, not in a very friendly sign, or it's inimical to Saturn. So all these aspects differ the overall results. But suppose it's a friendly planet to Saturn, then what it will does is it will ask for mercy and assistance from Saturn. But Saturn's dialogue will, Saturn's stand will remain strong. It will say that there is no friendship when it comes to serving the plate of karma, right? What you do, you get the results according to that. So that is why during this time of Ashtama Shani transit of Saturn, one's level of patience, ability to adapt to the various situations, challenging situations in life, gets tested by Saturn. So now, what do I mean by this? So the 8th house signifies transformation, hidden insecurities. Whatever we feel out of control of our life, of our personality, the change that is needed, both on a physical and mental level, can be seen via the 8th house, or any planet whenever it turns the 8th house, it triggers the sudden events, sudden transformations in life as per the lordship of those planets, also as per the significance of any planet placed there or any planet that is transiting over there. So now Saturn transits through the 8th house, and what it does is it all of a sudden all the insecurities start coming to the surface. All the things that we knew back then that we have to improve in these factors of life, in these aspects of life, or even our personality, but we were always avoiding to deal with them. And those areas of life, those aspects of our personality suddenly start to boil up, suddenly start to come up to the surface, and all of a sudden we feel like a sudden surge of emergency is getting created in our life, in our personality, in our mind especially. And we feel like there is this constant sense of insecurity, confusion, lack of clarity will be there, because 8th house deals with transformation, 8th house deals with hidden things, right? 8th house deals with something that is unknown, something that is not clear in our mind. So the major theme or major lesson that is needed to be learned during the Ashtama Shani transit is you have to be optimistic enough to focus on gaining clarity in life. So at least one or two areas of your life, depending upon your dashas, will be will be a highlight during this time, especially if you have, as I told you, if you have a planet in the 8th house from moon, if you are dasha lord or antardasha lord, or any of the planet is placed in the 8th house from moon. So now Saturn will trigger those events, because Saturn is the karma karaka. So wherever it goes through the 12 houses and 12 signs in the horoscope, it has got the duty of delivering the results of their karma in that section of life. So now look at the lordship of Saturn in your chart, and look at any planet if it is placed there, look at the dasha lords, see if Saturn is aspecting any other planets from your moon chart, that is from the 8th house. Saturn will aspect the 10th house, 2nd house and 5th house. So if you have any planets there as well, then this is going to be an intense ride for you. So you must be ready, especially mentally. And what can happen during this time is there can be some sudden painful events, there can be some sudden realizations. So realizations can be good or bad. So now let's see when the results of this Dhaiyya or the Ashtama Shani transit of Saturn can be negatively intense, and when it can be it can be slightly positive, not positive but okayish. So number one, if you are a person who always lives in fear, if you are a person who always tries to dodge the difficult situations in life, if you are a person who is fearful of change, if you are somebody who is always avoiding transformation in life, if you are someone who doesn't like to shift their mindset for their own better good, their own highest good, then this period can be negatively impactful for you. Okay, so the intensity will become even higher and deeper during this time. When you are a person who doesn't treat their family well, who is not responsible towards their financial matters, savings, their food eating patterns, or you are not taking care of your emotional, mental, physical well-being, if you are not willing to become your best self in general, because that's what Saturn wants. To be honest, Saturn is the only planet which wants you to be your best self. It truly wants you to be independent. Trust me when I say this, because no other planet wants you to fully become independent. Saturn is the only planet which truly demands us to be independent, to be self-sufficient, no matter if we are billionaires, millionaires, if somebody is beggar, if we are just average middle class human being, okay, or whatever it is, we have our all body organs functioning or not, or if we are blessed with a good eyesight or not, anything to everything, if we have a good career or not, a good reputation or not, Saturn wants you to be independent, and it always pushes you towards attaining that that freedom, that true freedom of being independent, being self-sufficient, I must say. Okay, so actually in a very true manner, because Saturn will never say that you avoid dealing with other people. That's the selfish way of calling themselves independent. No, that's not how it works. But you have to live in harmony with other human beings. But you have to take responsibility for your own tasks, for your own life, for your own feelings, behavior, emotions, and whatever experiences you are going through in life. Okay, so during this Ashtama Shani transit, if you are someone who is always complaining, who is always in the mode of having regrets, holding grudges, or if you are somebody who loves to blame other people, wow, then this time period is surely going to be a tough one for you. Mark my word right now. So avoid doing these all these things in order to have a kind of a smooth ride during this time. So during this time, what happens is our mind somewhat becomes foggy, because Saturn is aspecting the 10th house from moon, the 2nd house from moon, and the 5th house from moon. So the 10th house from moon represents our focus towards our karma in life. So now what happens, Saturn makes us become more focused. It demands us, it demands more focus, more efforts towards the karma part, towards our responsibilities in this lifetime. And mind just wants to relax all the time. So most of the time we want our mind to be happy, at peace. But when Saturn aspects the 10th house from moon, it is the time period when we are likely to feel discomfort majority of the time period. Something similar that happens during the Sadesati time period also, okay, but that's somewhat more intense than the Ashtama Shani transit. But the Ashtama Shani transit is more about not being fearful of the change, embracing the change, because for various reasons, okay. Then Saturn aspects the 2nd house from moon. So now 2nd house from moon is where all the things that are getting accumulated in our mind. So it can be negative experiences, memories, because it's moon, our mind, positive memories, experiences, happiness. How do we pursue things? What kind of calculations or interpretations we derive as per the experiences that we are encountering in day-to-day life. So that is what the second house from moon represents. And now Saturn aspects it directly with its seventh aspect. So what it does is it makes your mind get irritated so easily that you will freak out on a lot of people, especially your family, especially your mother, especially you will feel a lack of sense of comfort and peace of mind during this time, because moon is the original karaka of the comfort and happiness and peace of mind, right? Motherly love, care, nourishment, that is the fourth house of Kalpurush Kundali. So now second to moon will be the accumulation of the significance of moon. So that is why it becomes kind of tough to to just be okay with whatever is happening, however discomfort our mind is facing and going through. And that is why what happens is we burst out of anger on our loved ones, on our family, on our mother. We ourselves remain in an irritated state of mind many of the times. Okay, so now what? Like you will say that what? So Nikita, you want to say that for 2.5 years of time I will remain irritated and agitated. So no, it's not the case. Now you team up this Ashtama Shani transit with a kind of negatively impacting transit of other planets. Okay, then the results will get intensified, especially when your moon is going through eclipses, or whenever moon is eclipsed, or whenever moon is not in good dignity, whenever the ruler of your moon sign is not in good dignity, or whenever any inimical planet or a planet which is not friendly in the 8th house where the Saturn is transiting from there, is conjunct Saturn, all these things can happen. If suppose you are having some inheritance related issues, you are not keeping well with your family, or if you are not very good financially, or in career wise, or mentally, then this can be a tough period for you. 8th house also stands for chronic illnesses, uncertainties, fear. So if you are already dealing with some kind of chronic illnesses in life, or if there are some patterns in life or your personality or some habits that are keeping you stuck in some or other way, then this is actually the best time period to resolve those things. Saturn is pushing you to work hard towards them and resolve those aspects of life which are kind of stagnant. And even if we feel like it's happening for bad, or it's not happening for our good, we are always irritated, or why we are having to deal with all kind of dramas in life, then you have to know that some or other day you should have resolved these matters, and now is the best time. So instead of resisting the change, instead of resisting the transformation, the process of a little bit of suffering and the enlightenment that takes place after the period of suffering, after the period of rigorous brainstorming session, okay, after a lot of dramas in life, that is what is worth it. Okay, that is what is known as the new birth given by the 8th house transit of Saturn. And 10th aspect of Saturn falls on the 5th house. So the 5th house from moon stands for the optimism factor, or the intelligence factor of moon, okay, our mind. It is the house of happiness as well. It is the house of heart, right? So how much happy do we feel? How much intelligent or efficient do we feel? How much creative do we feel? Can be seen via the 5th house. And that is why when Saturn is aspecting with its 10th aspect on the 5th house, so what it does is kind of makes us become very responsible and serious, mature about our approach towards all the 5th house things which are represented by the sign that is placed there, or whatever planet is placed there. Okay, so that's how we can analyze the Ashtama Shani transit. And all these things that I told you right now, many of them I myself am dealing with these days. So during this time you have to be very careful of your words. You have to be careful of your speech. You have to be very aware of bodily and mental changes that are taking place. You have to pay very close attention to your gut feeling, to people who are trying to give you any kind of advice, to you have to avoid living with people who always insert fear in you, who always insert lack of optimism or pessimism in you, and you have to face the sun during this time. Okay, so this was all about the Ashtama Shani transit of Saturn. Do let me know your views in the comment section below, and I would love to know your personal experiences about your Ashtama Shani transit. Okay, and now do not think that it is always negative. Okay, because I feel that, I strongly believe that unless and until we go through some difficult scenarios in life, situations in life, there is no scope for growth, there is no scope for betterment. Okay, and that's how you have to remain optimistic during this time. You have to strengthen your mind with all the meditation. You have to do pranayam. You have to read a lot of good books. You have to take good advices from good people, trustworthy people. Okay, do not be in hasty during this time. Do not make decisions out of sheer need, or weigh your pros and cons all the time. Do not take this transit lightly. Do not resist the change, and you will be able to make the best of this period, because Saturn is the only planet which wants the ultimate best for you. So if you are not resisting the change, then Saturn during its Ashtama Shani transit will offer a lot of exponential growth